Hello, and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today I'm going to be explaining to you guys everything that is coming in Update 9 for Forza Horizon 4. Now, if you did not get the chance to watch the live stream from Turn 10 and Playground Games yesterday, this video is going to give you a full rundown of everything that is coming in this update. So, let's go ahead and begin with the release notes. Now, the release notes are basically just patch notes for whenever like an update like this comes out. Online adventure anti-griefing measures, which are basically the wall riding fix and the high-speed impact fix, which is, well, not necessarily fix, but basically what these things do is if you contact a wall or a barrier at a high rate of speed, it will slow you down. And if you try to ram into another person at a high rate of speed, so basically if there is a large speed difference between two cars, they will ghost the car that is going faster. So these are measures that they've started to take in order to combat griefing in Horizon 4. I haven't personally tested these out yet, but it'll be very interesting to see if it works, because as of when I'm recording this video, my game has not updated yet. But moving forward, those will be really interesting to see if they actually make a difference in the long run. Now, staying on the topic of online multiplayer, custom adventure is also now a thing. So if you want to set up your own personal custom online adventure, that is now available for you to do. If you want to add things back in like Free Roam Rush, feel free to do so. If you want to add wacky random classes into it, feel free to do that as well. So there are a lot of new things that you can do with this particular game type. You can actually also set if you want collisions to be on or off, which is a really interesting thing to see in an online adventure. I mean, if you've always wanted to play online adventure in, say, for example, I don't know, like S1 class, let's say, with collisions off and, you know, certain events taken out and certain events put in, you can make those combinations now. You can fully create those combinations and kind of have the online adventure that you've always wanted. Now, something I feel like we absolutely have to talk about is the Apollo IE and how to acquire it, because I posted a picture of the Apollo IE on my Instagram yesterday, which if you guys aren't following that, the link is in the description below. But anyways, a bunch of people were asking me, how do I get my hands on that car? How do I get my hands on that car? And here's how you're going to do it. The Apollo IE will be unlockable in the spring trial, so make sure you keep that in mind if you're wanting to get your hands on this car. Another very interesting thing to touch on is the new Horizon story called Car Files. Now, Car Files is actually a really interesting idea, because basically you will be taking the role of automotive consultant Hans Liebold, and basically what he needs to do is drive a variety of cars in basically for the purpose of figuring out whether or not they'll have an issue. You basically test drive cars for car insurance purposes. And the reward for completion of this Horizon story is the crash test dummy morph suit, which is, I mean, why? First of all, who wouldn't want that? And secondly, I feel like it's a hilarious way to actually unlock anything crash test dummy themed. I mean, like, to put yourself in the shoes of, like, you know, of anything to do with car insurance and then have that unlock a crash test dummy outfit. I mean, that's perfect. Not only does it suit the whole theme, but I think it's just like, supposedly that Horizon story is supposed to be really funny, and I can't wait to play through it for you guys. I mean, that is going to be a blast, I think. Now, for a moment, let's touch on the next expansion, because I know we were all hoping for some info on the next expansion on this past live stream, and I was definitely one of those people. I was really hoping that they would give us some info on it, but unfortunately, they said that they are hard at work, but they cannot talk about anything related to the next expansion at this time. Which leads me back to the question of, when are we going to get to hear something about it? I really hope we get to hear something about it really soon, and I think the entire community was hoping to hear something on this live stream, and I wouldn't say that I'm disappointed, because I want them to take their time, and I want them to make sure that whatever it is that they're making is good, but at the same time, I think we're all really itching for at least a little teaser. I really think we are. At least I am. Let me know in the comments below if you're itching for a teaser of the next expansion as much as I am. Also, just to touch on briefly the other cars that are coming in Update 9, we have the 2008 Maserati MC12 Corsa. We have a crazy, like, Rally Raid John Cooper Works. We have a Morris Mini Traveler. We have a 2018 John Cooper Works Mini convertible. We also have what looks like the John Cooper Works Mini Clubman, I believe is the name of it. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I believe it's the Clubman. Now, something else that we can't forget is the Buick Gs X, which is also going to be a really fun car to drive and a really fun car to just, like, mess around and do burnouts in or go drag racing. So you really have a whole host of options of things you can do with really any old muscle car. I mean, any old muscle car, you're going to have the ability to just have fun in it. Now, among a couple of other things, one of the things that I wanted to mention is a couple of sound updates. There's been a couple of sound bug fixes. They say they've made general sound updates as well as had a couple sound fixes, one specifically for the Hoonigan truck. That one in particular, I will need to test out when the update actually releases, but that should be a really interesting one to see what they've changed. They also say that they've done something with the Regera. So I didn't really know the Regera had a sound issue, but I will be interested to see what they've done with it and what they've changed on it. But it was actually really weird. This is not the video freezing. That was actually the game, and I got super scared that the game was going to crash right there. I don't know what was going on, but I do know for a fact that it really freaked me out, and I thought my game was going to crash. Now, I want to talk more about the wall riding fix, because I'm curious as to how everything is going to work with this. Now, you see, this shot is from where this car barreled into the wall and got a slowdown. Now, it got ghosted and it got a slowdown, which makes complete and total sense to me, and that seems 100% fine. Also, what seems fine is when a car barrels into you and then causes you to hit the wall, but basically it ghosts you and then forces them to get a wall riding penalty. That seems fine too. However, this next wall hit that I'm going to show you guys, which again was from their live stream, this hit was very, very low speed and low pressure, and it still ghosted the car and gave him a slowdown. So it makes me wonder if these wall hits are almost now going to be treated as basically like, it almost makes me wonder if it's like, don't touch, like if the whole strategy now is like, don't touch the walls, and if you even minorly mess up, that could cost you a race. So it'll definitely cause people to think about races a little bit differently, and I don't spend a ton of time doing online racing in Horizon 4. I mean, admittedly, before this update came out, admittedly, I would go into online lobbies and I would just get rammed, so I didn't really spend much time in online lobbies, but I'm curious to go back in and see what the differences are now after this update and actually see if this works or if it just makes it seem almost muddy and kind of creates new strategies for griefing to where people can actually benefit from the wall riding system, because they claim that you can't actually grief people with this system and that you can't actually benefit from this system aside from just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. But that's definitely something that we'll see over time, and only time will tell. So I know that there are certain people that have already expressed their concerns with this system, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments below on what you all think, because this is definitely something that a lot of people are going to have opinions about, and I don't know if people are going to be a little bit more on the positive side of this or a little bit more on the critical side of this, because it's one of those things where it's totally subjective, right? It's totally subjective to what your perspective around the game is and what you prefer to do. So, not necessarily what you prefer to do, because if you prefer to ram into people and you're mad that they're not going to let you do that anymore, then that's okay with me. You can be mad. That's okay. But if you're concerned that people will figure out a way to benefit from this system and will still figure out a way to troll from this system, I think that's a valid concern, because I think with any system that tries to combat trolling or griefing or whatever, I think that there's always going to be those people that will try to nitpick down to the point to where they figure out a way to make it work in their favor. So I'm curious, like I said before, I'm curious, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm also curious to see if it actually is a fix or if it just makes the game kind of feel a little bit muddy and feel a little over-regulated. So that's going to be my look at Update 9. If you guys have any other questions, let me know in the comment section below, and I will try to answer them as quickly as possible. But again, hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you got some value out of it in terms of information around the update, and I will see you guys next time. Talk to you all later.